So right before lunch, we started this, and I was saying how if BX bisects this angle, that means these two are equal. And sometimes you have to be careful, like when you name this angle WVX, that is the way that they name it over here. When I go to name the second one, I could either say angle XVY or YVX. And if you notice over here, that is not one of the angles that is listed over there, so that means you can do it either way. So I'm going to say XVY, and then that is by the theorem that I just had, or the definition that I just had you copy down. That is by definition of angle bisector. Now, I can do the same thing with the other ray that bisects the other angle. Okay, so it also says that VY here bisects angle XVZ. So what that tells me is that this angle would be congruent to that angle. When I name that top one, I want to name it the same way that I named this one right here. Okay, so I could say angle XVY is congruent to angle YVZ. Okay, so I have that, and YVZ, that is the correct order to put that in. Now, what's nice when you're doing this is to always kind of look back at what is it that I want to prove. And I want to prove that WVX right here is congruent to YVZ right there. Can we do that now? I can do transitive, right? So with transitive, if this one and this one are the same, those cancel. And what you would say then is that angle WVX is congruent to angle YVZ, and that is by transitive property. And so that one is done then. Okay. All right. Now let's go to our last page here. And in this one, we have some of the statements or reasons done for us. But right away, I can write down the given here. It says angle QPS is congruent to angle TPR, and that is given.
Okay. I didn't get that. Could you try again?
All right, now, if you guys look at what they did next, in the last section, I always told you guys, like, if you ever notice two things adding together to give you one, think of segment addition postulate. And what they're doing here is they're adding two angles together to give you one. When they do that, go up to your diagram and see if what they did is break an angle into parts. And if you notice here, they're saying angle QPS, which is this, equals angle QPR, which is this, plus angle RPS, which is that. Okay? So what we would have there then is we took that angle and broke it into parts. That's angle addition postulate. Okay? Then I also have that they did that with the angle TPR. So angle TPR is this angle, and they're saying that would be equal to TPS plus RPS. So those are both by angle addition postulate. Now, When we look at step 3, a lot of times we look above it to see what would be done there to get us this. But in this one, you actually want to look back up to that step. And what they did is they took the squiggly off and added those M's. What is that called? Of congruent angles. Very good. Now they want us to use substitution. And one thing I forgot when I did this, I forgot property right here, if you want to just add that. But what they want is for us to use substitution. Now, QPS equals this. So I could pick that QPS out and put this in there, okay? Then also, TPR equals this. So I could pick that TPR out and put that pink box in there. When I do that, what would happen is the yellow box would equal the pink box. So I'd have to kind of write small, but I'm going to write the yellow box first, the measure of angle QPR plus the measure of angle RPS equals the measure of angle TPS plus the measure of angle RPS. Okay? So that's substitution. Now, if I look back at what is it that we want QPR, which is right here, to equal TPS, which is right here. Can we do that? Subtraction, right? So we could say down here, the measure of angle QPR equals the measure of angle TPS by subtraction property. And then the last step would just be to take the M's off and add the squiggly. So that would be angle QPR is congruent to angle TPS, and that is definition of congruent angles. Now, this is going to look overwhelming when you look at this. Okay, so this is all in Schoology, and I'll open it up and show you guys. These two are on a worksheet that's posted there. These are in the book, and I think what you'll find is these are going to be harder. There's a couple proofs in here that are kind of tough. In fact, I probably should not make you guys do 34. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that, but let's change this to 33. 34 is a hard proof. So we're gonna just get rid of that one. So now let's all go on your MacBooks. You don't have to copy that down. And let's go to let's go to Schoology. Make sure you're logged in to your Google Drive, okay? And then go to our course. And if you ever can't log in, remember that just means you're not logged in to your Google Drive. Then when you get on your course, you're going to go to the weekly snapshots. And right now we're in week 7. Okay. And then down here, the worksheet is right here. So you can open that up. And then I'll explain this. This part is in the book. I did not make copies of the worksheet. So what I would do if I were you is I'd do these first, except we're not going to do 34. I don't think I can write it on here right now. But, don't do 34, okay? And then do that and then worry about the worksheets. And like, do you guys recognize that like these problems are what we did on Friday? So those you're just gonna find like angle 1 and angle 6 and find angle 1 and 2. And then there's a back side to that that you're gonna do 1 through 5, okay? So do this all on notebook paper. And on the top, what I'd like you guys to do is write section 2-6, day 2 worksheet. It just makes it easier when I go to put it in the grade book. So everybody on the top, just write section 2-6, day 2 worksheet. Questions? And if you have a question, my key, like for the proofs, I have a key on Schoology that you could open up, or my key is right here if you'd rather look at paper. But when you get to the proofs, kind of look at mine. If you still can't figure it out, come on over and I'll help you with it.